Okay. We're down at the mitigation site now. The mitigation site has been a work in the progress. The city has been running it for I think around 2.5 years at least now. During that time, only 11 people have transitioned out of the mitigation site. And so this is another place where the city has no end game plan. They're not working hard to get people out of the situation. This was supposed to be for transitional purposes, and now, you know, people are moving in. It's had an outsized impact on the downtown community around this. There's people camping right now. We saw people camping outside the food bank, camping along some of the other streets. The crime and vandalism problem for the businesses has been very challenging. Some of the businesses brought a lawsuit that was unsuccessful against the city. So right now the mitigation site is about to be moved over to where near I-5, the city bought the property where the old hotel was on, the hotel that burned down. So they're going to transition the site over there. And already there's concerns. I actually just got an email last night, believe it or not, from a woman who lives near that location, and her kids are going to school very close to where that location is. And she's rightly concerned about the behaviors that have been enabled around this location now moving into her more residential area. So, you know, the problem is that there's just no boundaries around behavior. And it's really cruel when you have people with this level of mental illness and substance abuse to expect them to self-govern. It's just cruel and magical thinking. One example of, I read a lot of the police reports of the activities that go on down here. One example that happened is when I was talking before about mental illness colliding with substance abuse. One woman was having a psychotic break, and she started burning all her money, her actual cash money. She was lighting it on fire. Another camper took offense to that, so he intervened with a machete to stop her from burning her money. And then a third man intervened with a knife, and there was some stabbing involved. So you're having incidents like that, and I just don't think that the people there are prepared, perhaps, for it. And why I say that is when I go and talk to the people that are the official people, the spokespeople, you know, I go to the welcoming desk and I ask a few questions, and they tell me what I want to hear. You know, they talk about permanent supportive housing and how we're transitioning people and getting them help and all these like magical words. They tell me this, and then like 5 minutes later I go talk to a volunteer, and he was a former meth addict or substance abuser, so he knew all the tricks, he knew what was going on in reality. And he told me, and these are his words, people are just too damn comfortable here. And there's no consequences linked to their behavior, so they have no feedback on when they're doing wrong even. There's no impetus for them to change, and he saw that as a failure. I think one thing that progressives need to acknowledge, and it's very uncomfortable for them, is that there is one area where the people in the camps are our most vulnerable, and that's when it comes to crime. And they are the most preyed upon, they are stolen from. The sexual predation is the worst. I see women on the buses walking around with baseball bats in their backpack. And I've interviewed a couple. I've had some in-depth conversations with them. And sexual assault is a given. It's not a matter of if and when, you know, if you're going to get sexually assaulted, it's a matter of when you get sexually assaulted. And many women have been raped repeated times, over and over again. And nobody is, you know, standing up for these women. And, you know, I have to ask, are you okay with this, Olympia? Like, I'm not.